Congratulations.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. I'm called the Blanco County Commissioner to order. It's Tuesday, July the 11th, 2023. And as we call the roll.
Judge Slade.
Here.
Commissioner Weir.
Here.
Commissioner Fisher.
Here.
Commissioner Eastman.
Here.
Commissioner Riley.
Here. Please join us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing to the invocation. Let us pray. Lord, we give you thanks for all you have given us this day, this time, and the time that we're living. Though it may be troubling and chaotic, we know you are with us. Today we'll be making decisions that will affect the county for days and years to come. Lord, guide us through these decisions. May they be acceptable in thy sight. Lord, we are thankful for the men and women who serve as the first responders. We ask for your hand to shield every one of them and keep them from harm. Lord, we pray for rain to nourish our dry land. Also, be with the people in the northeast of this country who are being devastated by too much rain. Be with them as they try to recover and rebuild. Lord, indeed, we ask you for guidance in this day's work. Thank you, Lord, for we're grateful for yesterday, thankful for today, and look forward to tomorrow. Amen.
Moving to item 1 on the agenda, are the minutes from the previous meeting for your consideration.
I would like to make a motion to dispense with reading of the minutes and accept them as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 2, payroll.
Make a motion to approve the estimated July 2023 payroll in the amount of $481,437.77.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 3, official reports. They are all in and available for your inspection.
I make a motion to approve the official report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Rear, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, line item transfers to ratify. Number 4. I believe.
I make a motion to ratify the line item transfer as presented.
Is there a second?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Eaton, discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, outstanding bills.
So we got a couple of invoices from Kendall Casper, and then we also got GDPCs that we would like to add to the bills. I'd like to make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $660,331.71 and add an additional $417,005.09.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. Is that GBTC bill just the standard bill from the south, it's just waived or something?
Yes, I just saw them yesterday, and they're due on the next commissioner's court date.
The GBTC services are like Annex.
Yes.
That's
So
what it
bills
is.
for 1, 4, and 7.
And 1 and 4. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 involves a request about the sale of alcohol on county property during market days. Mr. Humphries is here to discuss that with us.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Yes, as the judge was saying, the Chamber of Commerce has had a couple of requests from vendors to sell alcohol during our market days. I'm not sure if we let that pass, but we do allow that for Life Spectacular, and so we'd just like to have this carry on for the rest of the year. It would take place on Cypress. I'm not sure if it would be in the middle of the street or if we might wrap that around G. But the market days is growing, so with that are the request for vendors wanting to sell alcohol.
A couple of questions.
Yes.
Or maybe clarification.
Yes, sir.
I just got information this morning that there was some issue, some confusion about whether or not these vendors would actually be on county property.
Correct.
Now, likening it to Life Spectacular, some people thought, because there were 5 or 6 or 7 winery booths on the southwest corner.
Yes, sir.
During Life Spectacular. And some folks didn't think that was county property, but I was there, and I'm pretty sure it was, because everything that's currently the darker black right now,
Yes,
around the corners, is county property, or it would be darker black. Because we wouldn't have fixed it with gray. So, are we truly talking about having this happen on county property?
Most likely not, but most likely not.
Not.
Right now, we have 2 rows of vendors, and we're looking at the 3rd one extending into Cypress. That would also include food vendors, and we'll most likely put those next to the food vendors. Most likely they'll end up in the middle of the street, which is not on county property. We're asking for permission just in case it does, because we'd rather ask our permission and get y'all's approval now rather than run into that later and tell our vendors to leave just in case it does end up on county property.
So, I visited your market days last time,
Yes.
so other commissioners have been before. I don't remember Cypress being closed, are y'all thinking about closing Cypress?
Yes, sir. If it continues to grow at the rate, we'll have to.
My tiny bit of knowledge on this is counties don't really regulate the sale of alcohol. But, any landowner can regulate the sale of alcohol on their property, if you will.
Yes, sir.
And so it's county property, so I see it as like a 3-step process. You need county approval. In case it does bleed over onto our property, county property. you need, I think city rule is within the city limits.
We talked to the city.
And you need state.
I'm not sure if we've talked to the
So
city.
when I say you, I don't know that I mean you, I mean each and every license holder
Yes.
that participates.
Every vendor will follow obtain the permits that are necessary to be compliant with regulations.
And you're thinking most of these would be like wineries or people that have businesses elsewhere that come and put a booth up.
Yes, so there's one in particular, they're called Decadence, staying out of Florence, and they sell wine, they also sell like wine concentrate that you can pour into a liquid and mix drink out of that.
And the point of my asking that is, they're probably a license holder somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
And again, limited knowledge, I think I'm under the impression that if you're a license holder somewhere else and you want to do something like this, like off-site sales, off-site activity, that you have to get permission from the state, the ABC, and that you can only, this is part of it, I'm not really sure, it would look like you can only do it about 4 times a year.
I'm not 100% positive, that's to be honest with you.
And I ask that because you're wanting this to happen at every market days, right?
Correct.
Which is more than 4 times a year.
Again, I'm not quite sure to answer your question, I wouldn't want to tell you something that's not right. I do know that other market days allow vendors to sell alcohol, and they do have a permanent location, so how they're able to do that, I'm not sure, but I do know that it is possible.
So the biggest question for any landowner, and for these 4 gentlemen, is if they want to have the liability of alcohol sales on their property, basically, right?
They would need insurance.
If it's literally on the property, it's on the street, it's outside the street, it's not a problem.
Correct.
So Judge, with this, the vendors in this scenario, do they get like a, what's it called, no, picnic license?
That hasn't come up in discussion.
You know,
Never heard of it.
I just know that during the fair, that's the license that we applied for at that time, so.
The difference is you all don't have a bar somewhere with a license that they would have the fairgrounds. And so I've never heard of a picnic license, but I get it. It's a picnic. But this is different because all these
Have a license establishment somewhere.
so
I don't know. I'll make a motion to authorize the sale of alcohol on county property during market days for the remainder of this year.
this year being
In December 31st.
calendar year.
So,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
There you go. So, we have a situation where we thought we were fixing subdivision regulations and we didn't have to be discussing a variance today, but now we're back to square one. So, Commissioner Weir has a variance to bring forward today on family division lane. Basically, you can explain better than me, but basic idea are the normal family division lane is limited to 4.
Or fewer,
And you want,
based on size of the property, 10 acres,
and the number of family.
we didn't limit the number. Or we,
now. All of the tracts are over 23 acres each. So there's 9 tracts, 23 plus acres.
Excuse me, Tom.
Seven tracks.
Sorry, 7, I thought I read 9 back there. But it's called the G9, just look. Yeah, okay. There's 7 tracts, excuse me. Stand corrected. All 23 and a half acres right around there. They've been coming out, they've got two directions where they can come in and out of the property. Both of them are less than 60 feet wide. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm asking for a variance because they've been using this for years. I want to continue using that right away. It's a needed easement, both directions. So I'm asking for a variance on the 60-foot rule, so that will allow them to continue going in and out of the property. Also, within in my motion is to accept the family exemption, request for exemption that they have here presented, discussing why they do it. So I would like to make a motion to allow variance, and within that, accept the family division request for exception.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley. Discussion. Why is it only G9 and only 7?
It's like my mom and dad.
And the whole family.
Two back coming up, maybe to, oh, you, please. And since being recorded, you may
I'm Jill Morley.
Morley. And, so I didn't get the explanation very well because they were funny. So why is it a G, why is it only?
G9 was our family. So that was my mom and my dad and then 7 kids. So G9, which is the type of level range.
But it's 7 tracks.
It's 7 tracks. My mom isn't here with us any longer, and then my dad, if it's divided, will actually be on one of the tracks with me. So there's 7 kids, so it's divided into 7 ways.
And Commissioner Ware's under the impression that there wouldn't be any future subdividing. This is it, again, at the end of the family situation.
Can I answer that? It's naturally done that way because it's less than 60 foot wide on the so that will limit it any further subdividing.
Yeah, to my knowledge, no. As far as like going it any further.
You would have to have 60 foot of access to the ground direction. To further divide.
To the 7 on the easement coming in.
That is correct.
On either way.
That's correct. I noticed you had half of it going one direction. The other has been going one direction, the other half of it's going the other direction.
Right.
So if you wanted to re-subdivide it, if you wanted to cut that into smaller area, you would need 60 foot of frontage going out either direction. Do it.
So past any of the 7 tracks would have to be.
They can no longer be subdivided with 30 feet.
Okay, so if that came up in the future, then you would have to like disband. I don't know.
You would have to have 60 foot.
We don't. That's understood.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
As long as you understand that. I mean,
Between us and you.
right.
Yeah, that's not.
If someone wanted to take their 23 acres and cut it into 4 pieces, you would have to have a 60-foot road.
So that would default to whichever side to be the 60 foot going in.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 inches.
There's two easements. One direction. Depending on what property. Depending on what property. So that would limit you further subdividing.
That's not a problem.
Okay.
We understand that.
Okay.
Is this your,
This is my original warning.
just to get it over?
Yeah.
So,
What is that?
between us and you and lawyers, Terrible salary. Nothing, I was just trying to make a funny joke. Totally unrelated question. Are you related to Monty or Debbie Orley? Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all. So, we have one more item for talking about the workshop, and that is the burn ban, which is on the agenda somewhere. So, our chief in Waco communicated to me that he and the other two fire chiefs in Waco County are in favor of the burn ban. That's correct. And so, consideration.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to place the burn ban in effect until August 22nd, 2023 at 12 noon. I've already got three permission each now. All right.
Is there a second?
At 12 noon.
Mr. Wadley?
Sorry, I got.
No, how committee. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Burn ban is in effect. So we're putting a 10-minute recess, but obviously it's less than 20 minutes. Time's passed. So unless the commissioner wants to recess, you are just trying to do that, of course.
If anybody wants to leave, they can, now they've already finished their business. Ready to stick around, watch the work.
All right, let's move into the workshop. I got some.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, they're right here. Right up there.
Sorry.
Very recent. I didn't think we were okay. Is that yours?
Dawn,
Yeah.
how are you today?
Got started.
He saw an opening. There was an opening there. It's all of us.
They already started on that already.
The commissioners?
Yeah.
Or, what'd you do?
Apparently, I shifted money from one line item to another and payment.
Well,
Yeah.
can't argue with facts.
Well,
Well, I did, that, Because we needed money in from one account, but we didn't need money into an account we did need money in, and that's the reason that exists. Are you? I have no idea. He was one of the, whatever, was happening. I don't remember asking. How are you now? Pretty good. How are you? What's your day to your side? Oh, yes. Just slipped an Asian. Slipped. Nothing's broken. You gotta wear the, I hated food, but still better than the carton. Agreed, at least it's on a cat, so. Yeah. And you get your lesson so you can drive. That was. We're going to the beach tomorrow, and I'm like, going to the beach today? I'm going. You will just get your spot until you get it off. Yes. And I'll be there, no problem. I'll follow everywhere. Here you go. I'm so sorry that. No, I'm just hoping for something. I'm just hoping it into surgery. Yeah. Just fingers crossed that it's just, I didn't not torn and stretched or
Doesn't
something.
really matter, I won't let her off anyway.
I joked with Camille, I said, I'm gonna tell the doctor, I think I figured out there's some sort of contraction where I was standing there, so figuring out like what do I need, because I'm going back to work. It'd be like, this is gonna be a crazy job.
All right. We all done? I know. Things can take further discussion. Okay, so on the budget, if one of you has a way you'd rather do this, speak up, but, I'm gonna start on page 1 and go to next, we're gonna be page 5. And make a couple comments. The first is that that one tax number that's in there right now is just a guess. That rely on it, make too much out of it. It's a guess, and it's based on the preliminary evaluations in April and factored in with your 20% homestead exemption that you approved recently, which cuts about $800,000 off. Or could be collected in that one. So that's the number that's just sort of, it's just sort of the beginner right now. And then down on the page, the number in blue, that's just a guess of the, if you wanted to finance our sort of standard to your financing that's just a guess on the number there of what we would be borrowing. And then later down, there's a yellow mark with nothing in it, and, Connie, are we supposed to be collecting, don't we anticipate getting water availability fees?
Yes, we do.
Come here, but we haven't included.
I'm not real sure because we, on the availability, we get 500, we pay 250 to groundwater districts, and we keep 250. But I'm not sure exactly how they look at downstairs to know if the number in that line item is actually true income or is it half that.
I'm sorry, I was not.
Okay, on the water availability fees, 10,300 to 232. Okay, we collect 500 from the developer. 250 goes to the water board. We keep you. Is that line truly our, or is it half? I don't know how y'all look at it.
I think that's truly ours. And that's truly our, that's our income.
Okay, so I'll just need to kind of calculate what we currently have and kind of what we've done in the past. Average about.
What we take in this year. We haven't taken in, I mean, I haven't received any.
Let me make sure about what this line item is. If,
Oh, that's true. Okay, we haven't done any subdivisions this year.
I can run a report from last year to give you that true dollar amount. It was
and that was the answer to my question. This is about subdivisions,
Yes.
water availability studies. Have we had that any this year?
I haven't received any money.
Well, we haven't, there haven't been any big ones. We're just finishing up the ones from last year.
Okay.
Because they were showing that. Yeah, they're paying very, very big. The second readings have been taking almost a year to come to completion.
Well, it's not going to be a significant amount in the grand scheme of things anyway, but we'll figure it out through boards, records, and put it out there. That's all I have.
If we can, any outside leaders that want to speak, like, got a couple ladies back there that I'm assuming.
Sure. Yellow which, let me see.
Good morning, Commissioners, and Honorable Judge Guthrie. I am Crystal Spivak, Library Director of the Monroe County South Library District. We at the Monroe County South Library District would like to extend our gratitude for your support the last year for the $6,000 granted to our library. This last year, our library added over 1,500 items, which include new books, audiobooks, and movies. We signed up about 350 new patrons. This is part of the 2,500 active patrons that we currently have. Active patrons checked out about 20,000 physical items in this last year, 5,000 e-materials. This year, we also provided over 150 programs to children, teens, and adults. On the service side of helping Monroe County residents, this year we upgraded our Wi-Fi access points, hired 3 new employees, added new AV equipment to our small conference room, and continually circulated 80 hotspots to offer Wi-Fi access to those who cannot afford it on their own, and added a free coffee bar so people can relax and enjoy the library. On the activity side of serving the community, we hosted double our average children's programming, hosted this special exhibition Not Alone from the Bob Bullock Texas State History Museum. Partnered with the Gimlin Hills to present a special monthly pairing of Texas Hill Country authors with local wineries, distilleries, and breweries, all reading between the lines. And we also provided free shred days for citizens and businesses. In the last month, the Friends of the Blanco Library and Blanco Women's Club installed the first 2 of 6 little free libraries around the city of Blanco. We also have a special announcement that officially today, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library has come to Blanco County. The program provides all children birth to 5 years old 1 free book each month mailed to them directly. This program is a partnership between the Blanco and Johnson City Libraries to serve all of Blanco County. This opportunity is made possible by local foundations, donors that support the Friends of the Blanco Library, and community members like you. The mission of the Blanco Library is to provide open access to information and to promote literacy, love of reading, and lifelong learning opportunities for all members of the community. In the years to come, we plan to continue to provide new educational programs for children, entertaining and enriching programs for adults and teens, as well as finding new and better ways to provide the best possible services and resources to the Blanco County residents and visitors. It is our hope that you will maintain your support of our library at $6,000 in the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Crystal Spivak.
I spell the last name.
Spybuck, as an ICD.
And are you the library director, curator, whatever?
I am the library director under the Board of Trustees.
Well, your request is in here, and it's going to be proposed, so.
Okay, I just wanted to let y'all know what we were doing, and if y'all have any questions, we're here to answer you at that point.
I would tell you that, almost shouldn't even say this, kind of a dirty little secret, but Blanco County, between you and Johnson City Library, gets an extremely good value compared to some other counties I know that operate libraries a different way. My hats off to you. It must be hard juggling the budget, but we did a good deal. This is money well spent.
Thank you so much. I'm very glad to hear that. We do get visitors in all the time that tell me what a great library we have for our small community.
Did you bring somebody with you?
I brought one of my board of trustee members, Joni Kirkwood.
Joni Kirkwood on the board of directors of the library.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I talked to Michaela McDonald, that's the library director of Johnson City. Unfortunately, she had to staff her front desk today.
I've got one other question, because it came up recently. You have at least that one meeting room, if not more than one meeting room in your, or you used to have a big meeting room in your library.
Yes, we have a large conference room that we use for community programs and rent out, as well as a small conference room.
And what are the rates that you use?
The rates for nonprofits, of course, are free. During business hours, it's $25 an hour for for-profit businesses. Outside of that, we do charge a $25 fee for staffing and refundable deposit fees.
So nonprofits are free, but it's staffing.
Yes. Yeah, during business hours, it's free for nonprofits. Unless they need to use like AV equipment, kitchen, resources like that.
Well, thank you for attending, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the community service group here? Okay. Going back to page 7. Doing the bridge review. The present numbers that are here, again, it's very preliminary, but they've been running consistently the same for years. And I don't have much intention to propose otherwise. The transfer, we'll get to that in a little bit. This is page 8. which is the county judge's page. And it's, the rental has gone down just a little bit. Don't know if there's anything we're working. The janitor, we see the janitor numbers dropped off because we have, sorry, that's the part-time janitor in South Annex. We put it over in my apartment.
So, question for you on the, part-time janitor that we have currently, with the new facilities that we get, do we think that she'll be able to manage all that in that timeframe, or do you,
It'll, actually, that's a good point, it needs to probably increase a little bit for the, you say the facilities. Are you thinking we would want them to be involved in the fairgrounds facility?
I don't think so, I think that the fair association will make it all.
Wholesale.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no. And the addition, so I just said. Next page, page 9, county clerk. I don't have anything on that page. There's nothing in there. Page 10, elections administration. There's a couple of new items. Let's back here. Two new items, which are kind of funny. I'm going to call that orange or election workers and business solutions. The business solutions, $17,000 program, software program that's right.
Right.
That is pretty crucial to continue.
Yes, we, right now, we're only saving like our records in PDFs and backing them up to our server. And it's really not in compliance because it's not being backed up. So Business Solutions, they digitize all our records. They recently, the legislation has called on for audits for smaller counties, and we're able to save all our records in there. We have to be able to produce them if they show up for any election right away. And I feel like that's the best way to store them all in one place, including all voter registration and anything that they send out.
Going up one line, I'm going to serve this up for you. Election workers. Used to, election workers were included in 2 lines of election expenses. And we're asking for $40,000 for election workers, but not reducing the election expenses line. And I think you're going to tell us that's based on inflation and the market.
Well, recently there was a bill that passed for, it includes the November election and next year for the primaries, but it's going to cause us to increase the hours for voting on the second week of early vote at the main early voting location for 12 hours on that day, for that week. And then for the primary runoff next year, it'll, the same thing for the second week, it's 12 hours. And we'll have to open on Saturday and Sunday for 6 hours, which that's a big increase to have workers. Now, they're only allowed to work 10 hours a day, the maximum, where they usually work 14 hours a day.
Are you finding it harder, easier, or about the same to get election?
Harder to find election workers.
So they're requiring you to keep open for 12 hours, but only allowing the people to work 10 hours?
Yes. So a presiding judge would only be able to work 10 hours a day, so we have to split the shift on a presiding judge. So that means 2 presiding judges and 2 alternate judges. So that's going to increase.
Yes, the number.
Yes.
Okay. And then the only other number is
time, and I've opted to do, comp time for my overtime.
That's all I've got. Did you have anything you want to add? Any questions? Thanks. District clerk's page is not really remarkable, as you can see, with still paying on the co-file. We got a payment for the co-file project. So other than that, I don't have anything. Did you want to say anything? Okay. Any other questions on district clerk? County attorney? We included an investigator last year that didn't think about travel and the things that a commission police officer would normally need. So there's those 3 line items for a total of about $1,500.
Sir, Mike, you suggested that I up the body armor to the 1,300, which is the maximum potential grant. This is the get body armor for 500.
Did you say potential grant?
Yes.
Are you going to get a grant? He's shaking his head, yes. We're going for the grant.
Yeah, approval expected by September 1st. Yes.
So we would want to put in $1,300 for the body armor with the hope that it's going to be reimbursed.
So the question I have in that scenario, all the grants, in the revenue section, are we putting $1,300 in revenue?
Yes.
Will be. Anybody else have anything on that page? Moving to page 13. Tax district collector, there's nothing remarkable there, I see. Anybody? Page 14, big gorilla in the sheriff's office. The first 2 things on my list are at the bottom of the yellow. Sergeant investigator number 1 and administrative analyst. And you see the prices attached to that, which are the standard prices in our salary configuration today. And then there's those other 3 items that are on the list below that. Field training day. Field training day.
I'm sorry, where are you?
At the bottom of
Page 14.
it's a new line item. I don't know where it is in your book, but it's listed as field training. Hey, I'm sorry, not day. Hey, yeah, it's $20,000.
Yeah, that's for the FGO. Field training officer, $50
Is that, now I don't know if that works for a chief deputy, but maybe he wasn't chief deputy at the time. Is that like when Chief Woodring was training Deputy Bible, and then in the middle of it, they got the gunfight? But the point is they were training at the time.
You know, the training, anybody that's gone through the field training office, right, includes detention officers and dispatchers. As a field training supervisor, when they're training somebody, we're asking them $50.
And that would, so he would have gotten an extra $50 in that, $50
No, it's a chief.
Well, yeah.
But, yes,
They get paid overtime now.
right. And what we're doing is just asking them to be $50 side.
So they don't get overtime? How will that work?
If they go overtime, they get overtime.
So you're asking for a raise, you want them to get $50 plus they get overtime. I don't know. So we're gonna have to have a letter every time somebody
Hopefully, we won't be having to train very many issues, but that's what.
But let's say you don't have overtime, I give it that. And we call it as a salary increase, say $50 a week for being a field training officer that day. Right?
So it's $50 per day?
No, I believe it's $50 per week.
Oh.
It is a day. Well,
And they already know.
You keep saying that, but if they don't, you keep saying that, but if they don't incur overtime in a given day, if they're running around with a training, then we can get overtime. If that's-
Well,
if
But they get 2 extra hours for doing that, so
But
they
could
get
you,
paid overtime.
could you make it where you're not able to get overtime if you're training?
I can't make it, because no, I don't know what's gonna happen. But if we can make it where they're not getting overtime, they're just getting the stipend, then that's what it's gonna work. You're saying take away the 2 hours, the guaranteed 2 hours, yes.
And then give them $50.
Yes.
So you take away the 2 hours, so they're gonna pay the overtime.
Well, let's.
I can't promise.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, what you're suggesting is,
Just flat out stipend.
right, I mean, if something happens at the end of shift, then you get a call, then, yeah, of course, there'd be overtime, but you're saying. Shift ends on time, they're just getting $50 per day.
That's what he's saying.
So, but right now, as it stands today's rule, if they're training, they automatically get 2 hours overtime.
We're allowing them to get overtime to fill out the doors. Instead of doing that, and let them get it done during their shift, it'd be $50 per shift. Unless they go to overtime. You don't know what to call it, or when they get called out, how long it is.
Is this, something you see in the departments?
Well, sure, yeah. With FEO,
Field training officer.
yes. As of right now, we don't have anything. We're required to go to school, required for training. The only way we can adjust for it is by overtime. And the overtime is being able to do the paperwork and keep track.
Do you make people be field training officers or do they volunteer?
And both, we suggest.
Is it, what I'm asking is, it hard to get a field training officer?
Yeah, you have to go back to school to be able to do it, get it.
Is that why departments are paying extra?
Yes.
Anyone have any other thoughts on this? Because we're gonna have to close something, so you're gonna adjust it. Any questions about the field training?
Well, so in your overtime, and I understand what we're faced with next year.
Right.
So is that solely based on that, or is it,
No,
are you accounting for taking some of your overtime away by implementing this?
no, I think we'll have just as much overtime with the short. This time. And, however, overtime, and then there's added for the e-clips.
Okay, so, we're doing overtime, we kind of got what the field training thing, which I heard, we want to give $50 a day. In lieu of, you said, I think the key word is guaranteed overtime.
Yes.
Today.
Yes.
So moving to the overtime, and it's, not quite true from this year's overtime. And what's the key word? Eclipse?
Already still have a shortage of dispatch. We are expecting, hopefully, we can't get around it until we have full staff. People are not buying on the door to work, period. And the details. And that's just a guesstimate, but that's what we're gonna budget. I mean, I've never not turned the money back in, it's not being used correctly. If we don't use it, we don't use it.
Is, skipping down a little bit on you to the certification pay line,
Yes.
which is also being asked to increase quite a bit. Right, to this year and the previous year.
Yes, there's more people that serve. More people, increase their education
So,
and more.
so it doesn't, we're not changing the program at all. We're not asking to change the program at all.
No.
So
Just the money.
basic, intermediate, and advanced or
It's
something.
not, that's intermediate, advanced. It's not math.
And you're just saying that more people are graduating
Yes.
to those levels.
Yes.
And
Or I'm hiring and doing with. That was on there last year. It didn't go up because it was agreed upon, but the money for the revenues. It was in there last year,
focus.
then increase.
And we agreed what?
You approved it, but then you didn't put any money. With the same amount of money as you before.
So, okay,
Good, get that.
okay. Anyone else have any questions on this page of the sheriff's?
So, explain on your education pay as far as, and certification pay, what's the difference?
Certification pay is what you get in your field, your extra training, time service, that's your master's degree. I'm just gonna stick with police officer, but all three officers are have certification. Done from basic, intermediate, advanced, and masters. It's the amount of time you put in, the amount of hours of training you get to become to increase your as a master police officer, intermediate police officer.
So what's the education?
Education pay is associate's degree, college degree, doctorate degree. That's education.
If you got a college diploma, you can make more money than sometimes.
Yes.
Where's that?
Right, second class.
So where's the line where you send somebody to, school to,
Education
officer training?
or training, education.
If you, when I say school, what I mean is, you get a jailer that looks to be a good candidate, wants to upgrade to be a deputy. Where's the money that you send them to,
That's
to take it, to send them to the
sponsorship. And I did know that, hopefully we have a sponsor too.
where's that?
Law Enforcement Academy sponsorship, it's gonna be on the second page, like our operating budget.
All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
I got the second page. All right, what else on this page?
And then we'll just go ahead and announce it as a bilingual day. So any officer that can speak or any staff member.
Yes. Yes, right now we have three. That are bilingual, and they're used all the time, and they're used throughout the county. By all county, of course. By the way, and the state. We need it, and there should be receiving a pay for that.
And what's the,
How much are they getting for that?
Right now, $100 for us.
That's $100 a month.
I believe that's right.
If they're bilingual.
Yes.
And if you also.
so, okay. Kathy might be bilingual in German. We give her stipend.
If she passes the German, yes.
So they have to pass the test in order to.
Gotta do it online.
You're only anticipating 3 because you only.
That's what I have right now.
Well, this would only be enough to cover 3.
3 right now.
Anybody else have anything else on page 1? Page 2. At the bottom, we have grounds maintenance. So we have a maintenance department. And the budget on it, when we get to that page, is expanding quite a bit. Or proposing to expand quite a bit. And what do you contemplate that? $3,300 just for?
Well, mainly for, better grass, better lawn, better fire, or upkeep of all.
Is that?
It's been happening. We've been doing it now for a while.
I mean, what's the limit
For sod, grass,
for materials?
materials.
Law enforcement counseling,
Yes.
like drinks.
It's mandatory, I'll say. It's very highly suggested. We have an officer of shooting or any kind of traumatic deal. It's the same ones that Ben that only uses. That's, yeah, very well needed.
As it's for
Everybody.
it's as needed.
Yeah, only as needed.
Would you, you have a number in here, would you piggyback on Oakley's contract?
We can try, yeah. Oh, hey, let's hope we'll never have to use it. That's the goal. Today's world.
And this is what Ben Oakley suggested for us. I worked directly with him on it.
You know, I know you have a good voice, but I can't quite hear it.
That's what Ben suggested.
Okay.
Same one, same one.
That's what he
He suggested that for us.
I see. Anyone questions on page 2? You know, we should maybe go back to page 1. I just want to make sure, because nobody really said anything about adding a sergeant investigator and an administrative analyst. No questions at all?
Well, as he said, not beating down his door right now. We've got 1, 2, 4, 5 open positions right now. Or by this budget line. But all of those are jailers and this thing.
Well, about that. We do have a sergeant's position.
Well, it's not showing open on here, so I don't know.
Right, no, he's last today.
I heard somewhere, this just came to my mind, but I heard somewhere in the river a number that your investigators currently have as caseloads. And that it sounded, and that whoever was telling me this thought it was awfully high.
It is very, it's very high.
they're increasing.
The comment that was actually made was, how can you expect to get investigations done and cases closed with that many cases to handle on one person?
We need more help. We need a lot. They don't just do investigation. Yeah, they do all the training, 90% of the training, for the whole center. They do, the state required, T-LEDs, the SARS, everything. They're spread very thin, very, very thin.
You know what percentage of increase in the last year?
I don't know what the percentage is exactly, but it's with everything else, probably around 18 to 20%.
Over the last year. In cases.
And amount of cases, we really kind of also, we have full staff, or pretty much full staff of officers. Every case they file goes through the office, one way or the other, whether it's a misdemeanor or a felony, or internal affairs, or background investigation. We have to do state required background investigations for everybody we hire. They're all ones that do.
Your lieutenant is here. Do you add anything?
Yeah, want to talk to them about that?
Another question in the same realm of that. What do you do for office space?
Well, right now, we have an office at the end that we can move, an administrator and, lieutenant. The sergeant and that.
At the end.
What?
You said an office.
It used to be the constable office. Or we can move DPS into that. They will do it.
I believe sheriff, well, I don't know how it's done, sheriff's office, but I believe sheriff was already touching on some of this stuff, and that is that we've, our caseload has increased. We don't exactly the numbers, but we'll be able to see by the next meeting. We're responsible for training when it comes to firearms and things of that nature, and tactics training. CID does all of that stuff also, as well as we are responsible for keeping up with, as we talk about, the sexual assault response team, and other things, the other child abuse crimes that are happening. We have to go to meetings once a month for all of these things. So, yeah, they are mandated by state to join these things and have to attend. Every now and then we get caught up on something emergency, we can move away from them. But you have to send an email and they expect you the next one. We also do, as you said, the backgrounds, those are time. They require us to travel sometimes to go look at people's personnel files, as well as home visits. You want to see what they look like in their home, how they keep their home, things of that nature, all ties together. And as you talk about IA, so you can be in the middle of something and you get pulled to do this other thing. I don't know if you guys probably experience the same thing. You're right in the middle of a task, you get tasked with something else. It's hard to get back on track and get that other task going again. So it takes a minute and it's very time consuming for us to have to do all that. So we can spread that load out on one more person or with the administrative assistant. We have also categorized videos. We keep them all together. Every 5 cases, as the sheriff stated, it goes to the county attorney's office or the DA's office, district attorney. Goes to us. We put it all together piece by piece. We get a 911 phone call, we get videos, we get all the statements that are there, photos, everything. We have to put it together in something. That alone can take hours sometimes. So it's just one more thing that this administrative person will be able to assist with and gathering all the videos and things of that nature. Is there any other questions I can answer for you all?
What are the questions, commissioners, on pages 15 or 14?
So I have a question, but I don't know if it's in this area or their capital equipment, but
It's in capital equipment.
no, sir, about, for the CAD system? Is that in capital equipment or? Okay.
There's a third page, which would be page 16, in which they requested, the department has requested a 15% increase in the salary structures for that department. And I propose we just put that aside for the time being, because we're gonna have to discuss the salary study here in a little while. And that may or may not address this. So what else do you have?
Well, I just want to say on the increase, I have faith in the survey, I really do. You know, I thought tooth and nail for 7 years, just trying to do this average or par. But I think the people would like to know it, and my office and my employees and all county employees, they deserve better than par. I mean, we're a good county, we're a good place to be from. A good place to be. And most of that good investment we can make is in our employees. So the better we plan, and the better off in the long run we will.
I'm gonna do that job. And I'm looking at it. I go to Compound, I go to Hayes, I go somewhere else. Or a whole lot more money, still dealing with the same stuff. Let's use that word. Then I'm gonna go after more money to do that same job.
Right.
For him to, buy into some of these trainings and the FTO money and everything else that goes along with a revolving board. If you pay these guys right up front, then you're not gonna have that turn around.
It's investment.
It's absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you know, I want to talk about the capital stuff.
Anyway, dental, with the discussion. I need that to go up another 2 years. He's making dental to 8,000. We're already.
And make dental,
What's the number?
446.
So instead of 8,000, you want 10,000. Okay, what else? Don't go too far, because we're going to talk about some other things. Page 17, treasurers. That's remarkable.
Except the treasurer.
Where did we, is it in? It's just on the next one. So on the next page, on the officer's page, the yellow line contemplates the training period for Kathy Strickland's replacement, which will be the months of October, November, and December 2024. So it's not in this budget. We don't need to do it. That's why it's in yellow right now, it's just a big question mark. Nothing else, it's just a preliminary plan, the idea that there's going to need to be a training period following fiscal year. Clear? Yeah. With another. We don't need to do it, just remember.
So that. We know Kathy does more than just auditor and treasurer, GIS side of it. Are there any thoughts in adding to that, or?
It's something,
Okay.
but maybe not the way we'll do it, maybe we'll break it.
Okay, I was just curious.
I think that's in the discussion. So that's all I have on the auditor's page. There is a public hearing next. Where's the date? It's August. And it's the district judges will decide what this today was on. Tell us. It was in public hearings on page 19, and it's just a continuation from previous years. So it does a great job of administrating the program.
Are we good on the 410?
Sorry. So we're on to page 20. Extension service, Mr. Rimmer, she's leaving. Well, somebody, we assume they'll hire somebody, some money to pay that person. So, as it is. Oh, and their entry software, so you line item. But in this day and age, everything is automated, so I can't imagine that we have it before. 21, emergency management.
On your Western Region Power Superintendent.
So notice this is tentative, I decide. The meeting that I had last week in Burnett didn't go very well, I don't think, by some people's standards. And it's just a placeholder, I don't know that it's going to happen.
Well, I suggest that Barnett County has their own person, but the old agency that used to do all this stuff is no longer there, and the new one don't do it. So I think that they do need someone in their county to.
Well, I don't think the old agency did it all. That was the problem, that was the discussion that was had, and that I brought up because it was confusing to me. First of all, this number is pretty small, right? The Blanco County contribution is only supposed to be about $7,000, that's about $100,000. Good one thing. But they keep talking about it like maintenance, like going out and checking propane tanks and such. And the gentleman you're talking about, yeah, I don't think he does that, but what he does do is coordinate. Right. Winds up being the funnel with Vericom and others, and that's different than the maintenance part. So in the discussion, I was thinking about Russell and Aaron because, yeah, the Burnett County maintenance folks can go out and make sure there's not weeds going up in the towers and check whatever. I don't know why we might not want to think about that too.
Right now we're using road crew.
We haven't made this appointment this year.
Well, but yeah.
But, so, I can't advocate for that number, because, I'm not gonna be in this pretty much over here. However, if they choose to go, I don't think Blanco County is interested in it, honestly, but if they choose to go for it, it's a pretty small contribution. I just don't know what to do.
The dilemma is that person stays in Markham. That's where, as we know with other agencies and other departments, we ran friend possible.
And it was described as the first line of service for radio staff. So that the one person to have credentials and capabilities, but then Veracom's not going to, as I understood it, Veracom's going to is something like that. Do anything new.
Gators one.
Okay. So,
That worked.
but what I don't see on here is, we were talking a minute ago about. Okay, so that's. The community relationships is highlighted in yellow. You think that's just gonna have to be a year?
I think that's gonna be, I need one more year of actual, trying to get that finalized to see exactly where we're at in that. Right now, it's still at Veracom trying to get radios programmed and prepared, get all the computer system up and running. We've purchased all new computers for, so there's some other things that we kind of, are still not up and running 100%, so. I think if we can put another year of that dollar amount, then maybe next year we can lower it.
And then, back up a bit, I did insert, getting the Western Region Tower person, I did, we provided a very small stipend for our infection control officer for local health authority. And since you created this new office, Blanco County Fire Official, it feels like we should treat that similarly, and so I put a number 40% of it as a stipend for basically that.
So the only question I have in reference to that, are we just talking about the fire inspections that he does, or are we talking about other things that we call him out
Well, mostly it's the inspections. However, he has the title, the statutory title is fire official. And so I think the answer is yes to all of the above.
Because on the fire inspection side of things, I know that he's paid through ESD, which is our contract, we pay them.
Right, but this is regular salary for doing ESD, and as you know, it has become, the inspections, I think, was more than we contemplated.
And then on the other side of things, I know, for instance, there was a fire, a structure fire in Round Mountain that they requested him to come out to specifically above and beyond the fire. So I can see that side of it.
And I think that $4,176 is a pretty small amount of money for what we're asking.
Okay. But I just want to clarify.
Yeah, his salary is paid by ESD too.
Right.
Hopefully it's more than $4,176. Moving to page 22. Judicial expenses, those are pretty much consistent and just carry over. In 23, district budgets is the same way. You can see that the bottom numbers going down a little bit. I have a question mark about that kind of has checked and double checked and rechecked what they submitted as what they've submitted.
At least they submitted. I said at least they submitted. There's been many years that they haven't.
Well, she's pretty good about that. District attorney is on page 24, and as you can see, it's going up a little bit. What's not in here, in addition to another person, he's asking for another vehicle. I'm sorry?
She did clarify it is in here.
How is it here?
They put it under. On their sheet, it's under rodeo and capitalized. It's $5,810. Like I said, I just kind of had to lump the numbers together since we didn't have exactly the same lines that they did, but it is in here.
Okay. So they're anticipating, even with this small amount of increase, adding a tire another prosecuting attorney and another vehicle. Juvenile probation is on the next page, and the increases were about 10%. And it's based on activity. Page 29, 26. Community services. And Mr. Humphries is gone. And I see is Bible. But the one down at the bottom in yellow is a placeholder. I don't think they even gave me they want the county to support our spectacular by funding the activity that goes on with lighting the courthouse. I figure there are arguments both ways on this. One, it's their program, it's their deal, it should be their expense. The other is they mess with, I don't know, a fancier way to say it, with our structure every single year in November and February or balance. And that's my own justification that we might want to have a say and have more of a say, a financial say in how they do things. Plus, it just is more expensive. And they'll argue, Ms. Bible was here, I can't really carry her water for her, but if she was here, I'm sure she would tell you that the Life Spectacular program does look, you know what, Mayor Johnson City's here, she can probably speak to the economy in this part of Lincoln County.
In sales tax and alcohol sales.
So what we might not know is they've asked for as a community service right along the libraries, they've asked for a contribution. And I think this was my number, I don't think they have, and I think their number would be bigger if they, I don't know, I think this number would be bigger if they would put it in account, but I put it at $3,000. So that's the stage.
For what y'all were talking about contributing for them, okay. Yeah, we've had some preliminary discussions within the city about what we're going to contribute, mostly to security operations, because we've heard that licensed police officers do traffic control going forward on at least opening weekends. And I think she's wanting, like the last conversation I had with Ms. Bible, they're wanting security every weekend for the entirety of the season. So that was a discussion that we had that we would prefer licensed police officers, like people opting coming from San Antonio and such, to do traffic control and work as security officers during the events. And so we, the city, we haven't really discussed the number yet on what we're going to contribute, but it will be significant just because from our standpoint, it benefits the city to have professionals working security.
When you start talking about crowd control, personnel and all that, you start talking larger numbers than $3,000.
Yes, sir.
I think that this number, well, my number, but I think their concept was just to help defray the cost of those. PDC no longer, they did for decades, they no longer string ones.
Correct, yeah, they have to
pay for that contract.
Yes, sir.
And I think they're looking to defray some of that cost.
Yeah, I believe that's also, last year they asked us for extra money for security as far as the city is concerned, and so that's where we contribute hot funds to their advertising and things that they use that way, but actual city funds isn't out of agency funds that we're going to contribute will be towards security.
And if the county starts collecting contacts, yes, this would be an expense that we cover.
Yes, sir.
Really people considered.
It puts heads in beds, so you can use the comments.
Any other thoughts?
No, sir, anything that y'all want to contribute, I'm sure they would very much appreciate it.
Questions, comments? Anything else on this page? Just one thing, Hill Country Area Crime Stoppers, that number is my number, I think it's my number.
Yes.
It's just a, this is the inflation adjusted number. And did they ever? I'm carrying the water for Hill Country Crime Stoppers.
Right.
Suggesting that we fund them for that ability, we want to actually communicate with them during this budget cycle. And maybe by the time we begin, we'll know better if they even want to go or not. Okay. Page 27. We've got waiting on part of the salary survey discussion. State agency services, that's the one. Expenses, I don't, you'll see that number in yellow, I see the contemplating all the new construction going on, but I don't know if that's going to be on, so I just don't know. What do we do?
535, the independent auditor line, we'll have a single audit next year, so that number needs to be at least 30.
They sent me paperwork that said that it was gonna be 27, okay, well, then when they sent the bill this time, it was 25 instead of 22, I thought we needed to know that. I have it right, okay, perfect.
I missed some words in there, you said something about an audit this time, we always have an independent audit.
Yes, but we will, the grant funds will be subject to single audit this year because it will be over the threshold, so there will be an additional audit required.
We should put 30 just to be safe.
Additional, yes.
So maybe we should put 30 just to be safe.
I would guess the single audit alone will be about $5,000. So if they haven't told you that, I would guess about $5,000.
I understand 32.
Yeah, if they've got 27 on the regular, then I would say 32
The number down on 500, 548 is not a good number. Well, maybe depending on what you want to do. But Ms. Swift has recently, very recently, determined that the cost to do a 4% cost of living adjustment for retirees. This is a one-time thing for a 1-year period. This is in the neighborhood of $240,000. For 4%. 4% is in the neighborhood of about $333,000. It's our understanding that
$252 is the 4% and $378.
it's our understanding that retirees have never received a cost of living adjustment. When you get here 20. Have you ever heard of that? I think Swift doesn't think there's ever a cost of living adjustment for retirees. So this is just a one-time thing. Her research says that some counties do it every year, some counties do it every 5 years or some period of time. Some counties don't do anything, but they pick up the health insurance forever. So I'm gonna probably, depending on how our conversation goes about the salary survey, I'm probably gonna go with the $252,000 number as opposed to the 4% increase for cost of adjustment for retirees. Just so you know. And you can also see the next line down from that, what the number looks like to transfer to the road and bridge department to balance out that department, which is actually slightly less than last year, or excuse me, this year. Anybody have any questions on that page? JP, just nothing remarkable. And JP4, the only thing in JP4 is it's kind of an unusual one. It's listed as just miscellaneous. The clerk for JP4 has asked for $500. See Judge Riley. Okay, Constable Precinct 1 is on page 32. The deputy constable was, you'll recall, authorizing the deputy constable that was grant funded last year. That was a one deal. And Constable Fisher's here to talk about his request.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's the mission of Blanco County Precinct 1 Constable's Office to vigorously pursue and improve quality of life for citizens as well as to ensure safety and security of the general public. Through the hard work of this office, we carry out our duties by formulating a strong collaborative partnership with all local and state agencies. We will enforce the law equally without bias through the highest ethical standards. We will provide professional services to our constituents and the community at large. This office will accomplish its mission through community policing and preserving the peace and dignity of the community and your state of Texas. The population of Precinct 1 is rapidly growing, and the constant additions of new housing developments will continue to exponentially increase into the foreseeable future. It's this office's intention to prepare for the needs of Blanco County citizens. For the U.S. Census, Blanco County has seen a 13.8% growth from 2010 to 2019, and multiple housing developments have been completed since that time. In 2023, my office continues to see a rise in both civil and criminal matters. Since my appointment in 2020, the year-over-year statistical performance of this office has increased by an across the board average of 300%, in some cases even higher. It is the goal of this office to be a consistent presence in all parts of Precinct 1 and Blanco County as a whole. We aim to place a high priority on remote areas. After the redistricting process, Precinct 1 enlarged by nearly 30%, from over 412 miles to over 530 square miles. With plats for new subdivisions being submitted almost monthly across the precinct, it stands to reason that we will see the associated population surge. I expect to see growth in all aspects of civil and criminal matters. Soaring highway traffic alone is evidence of the current situation. The environmental concerns brought about by the rapid development and construction greatly affects the lives of the residents of Blanco County. majority of the individuals purchasing homes and lots in these newly created subdivisions emerge from more urbanized areas. These new Blanco County citizens bring with them an expectation of fast response times and highly visible law enforcement presence. My appointment in 2020 through September 2022, the total man hours worked by my office have risen 261%. And we are on target to increase that by another 68% by the end of this year. The extreme uptake of direct result of the population surge is my precinct has already witnessed. From FYE 2020 to FYE fiscal year 2022, calls for service generated by this office have climbed 1,000%. In 2020, I served 53 civil processes, but in 2022, I served 310. That's an increase of 441%. Since I took office, my bailiff duties have expanded from 32 hours in 2020 to what will be over 400 hours by September of this year. The diligent effort to save taxpayer money, this office has sought out grant funding in anticipation of growth coming to this county. I have been very successful in these endeavors over the past 3 years. We sought out and were awarded grants in 2021, 2022, 2023. These funds have been used to purchase new vehicles, equipment, and for costs of office setup. All told, like the banker, single cost office, and then we're approximately $250,000. This year, we received a grant to fund salary for the addition of deputy constable for this office, and we're awarded $30,500. The deputy paid with these funds have been used to kickstart a countywide environmental law enforcement program. Since the implementation approximately 8 months ago, approximately 400 tons of illegally dumped materials and trash have been cleaned up in Blanco County. We have submitted a case to both the district attorney's office and the Blanco County attorney's office for misdemeanor and felony charges, and have already had some success in prosecution. Since the inception of the county environmental law enforcement program has investigated 61 total environmental complaints and tips this year. The addition of a full-time deputy constable would be highly beneficial to this agency. Precinct 1 and the rest of the county, He or she would help reduce the emergency response times. The addition of a full-time deputy would allow for greater coverage in these more remote areas. He or she can dedicate more time and attention to the residents of Precinct 1 as well as the entirety of the county. This deputy would respond to both civil and criminal calls for service. The highways in Precinct 1 have become congested and dangerous, therefore this position also requires some time spent on traffic. The deputy would also continue to investigate environmental matters generated by local, regional, and state reporting agencies as well as residents here in Blanco County. The increased presence of Precinct 1 Constable's office will help deter crime. We see development created in rural parts of the county. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to hear my office's proposal for both budget and sincerely appreciate your consideration.
You're saying he or she, I thought you just had a deputy sworn in.
I wrote this proposal prior to that.
So the proposal is B. So you mentioned in there that you got a grant for the environmental officer.
Yeah.
Was that past year?
Yes.
So that was the deputy constable that wasn't budgeted for last year, but now that's happening.
Yeah, it runs out, I believe, in October. It runs out this year, end of this fiscal year.
So with this proposal, you're requesting for yourself and then one deputy constable, right?
I'm proposing a deputy constable, I'm taking care of it already.
What else? And, that's all for that page. Page 33 is constable for precinct 4. The way that I have structured the first two lines is in the event that a transition is made and an appointment is made, there could be some additional funding available for somebody that goes into a full-time position. And that's how it would be worded in the newspaper to post notices of elected official salaries. And then down at the bottom, 4 items and whatever column that is. Deputy Busey is here.
Good morning, Judge, good morning, Commissioners. As you know, Precinct 4 has been growing, just as Precinct 1 has been. Our load just in Precinct 4 alone, you may or may not know, we had our first jury trial in Judge Riley's court yesterday in recent memory. So, court alone, bailiff and duties, the papers that come with that, we have multiple writs of hands, tax citations, various legislative processes that are greatly expanding. With that, and with the guise of a coming full-time position, we are seeking to expand the office, to bring it up to modern standard, bring it up to par with Precinct 1. For all intents and purposes, the sheriff's office, as far as access to the CAD system goes, computers, modern technologies to be able to allow us to be compliant with CJIS, the state, and other requirements. The line items on here would feed into that. Currently, there's constable, student, and myself as the deputy. As time goes on, depending on how that shift takes place in the future, we would seek another deputy reserve deputy constable. So not paid, just a reserve position to aid in those bailiff requirements, civil prosecution requirements. And what is on here would go towards that full-time constable and 2 reserves. So that would be the ammunition, the audio expenses. Currently, we have 2 aging patrol vehicles, one with about 200,000 miles on it, one with about 100,000 miles on it. The good news for that is we're awaiting the final confirmation on a roughly $150,000 grant through the Office of the Governor. That's coming to a close hopefully soon. That will purchase a new vehicle fully equipped for Precinct 4. The computers needed for that, the camera system, the cage, the lights, the sirens, everything for that vehicle. It is patrol ready at that point. Along with that, it would be all the equipment for the office, safe for evidence and firearms, and evidence processing. Every little thing that goes into running the office, just like any other office around here. Attached to that, there are a couple of capital outlay requests. One of those being firearms. The agency does not currently own any firearms. They've been personally supplied. This would allow for a pistol, a rifle, and less than lethal device to be purchased. It would be used in the same ways that Precinct 1, the sheriff's office uses theirs. They're going back to line items. There's a line item request on here for taser equipment so that the agency can purchase a taser, be able to maintain that, and the training that goes along with that. The last capital outlay request is additional computer equipment that would outfit a current vehicle that we already have to be able to use out of patrol. Because as you know, this is great thing comes in, that does happen. It takes a while to purchase the vehicle, get it outfitted. With this, it would outfit a second vehicle for the reserve deputy, myself at first, or others in the future, so that there are 2 patrol-ready vehicles at that time. One being covered by the grant, the other one being outfitted with an MBT mobile computer and all the antennas, the data connected to that vehicle, that can also be used in office. For myself, that area. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, told you, right?
Absolutely, he's been outstanding response. I think he's been through this before with other agencies, so he's been instrumental in getting this over the goal line.
Your boss is here, your current boss is here. Is there more to say?
All I can say is that I think this problem, that's such a good one. I have never been one to ask for more, but this department has been kind of on this field a little bit. So I've never been one to ask for things that I couldn't use or wouldn't use. So, you see here, it's quite capable. It's really, really helpful a lot. And, most of y'all are probably going to retire. So it's the way it's going to be. And I think it'll be well done.
Thank you.
What is your current office status? Or office status? Where are you locating your office?
Technically, it is a home office with console on doing, so that would be another continued conversation at a physical office space at the South Annex. That goes into, if I may, the upgraded security measures we've taken with Judge Riley's court. Thankfully, the additions to that building where we walled in the front porch now is a waiting room for us. We're able to funnel individuals into the back of the courtroom, provide proper security screening. So going into a physical office, we would look for ones in that building as other projects are completed, individuals are shuffled around. That also allows us to have a permanent location there with the Justice of the Peace Court, provide all the necessary security for that court, and actually have a open to the public, full service office or consul's office. So at the moment, there is not one provided by the
There have been discussions and we've got some ideas. Yes, sir. A lot of construction going on.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Almost takes a lot out of the county to get done.
Anyone have anything else? Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank you. So the next page, there's that line that the $2,400 in for the employee training period. Won't happen until the next fiscal year, so leave the line and take the dollar figure out this year. Recycle coordinator. I don't remember there being anything unusual. Mr. Riley? No. So it takes us to capital equipment. Everything in yellow is intended to be purchased and funded out of the next year's budget. Everything in purple is proposed as a 2-year GovCap lease purchase situation. And the break point is generally speaking $10,000. If it's less than $10,000, we propose to just pay for it outright. If it was more than $10,000, we propose to take 5%.
I do need to add one thing to this. The metal detector, we've talked about it for months. I just would like to put it on here. Current price is about $4,500. I have contacted the company to see if they would match the price that we paid less than a year ago, which
is about 3,700. So I will be adding that to this in the yellow as a outright.
So I'd like to add or request to add a shredder for my tractor. The shredder that we currently have is a NX10, and the housing and the top of it is all ripped, so it is non-functional right now. So, and I got a ballpark quote this morning of about $15,000 for a 10-foot shredder.
And we didn't put one in your way?
I did not ask for one motion.
Precinct 3 shredder, how much did you say?
15,000.
So this is that?
Yes, sir. So, it's 10-foot.
It's just a 10.
It's a 10-foot, yes, sir. So it's the side there that pops up, just one side that pops up.
Is that the shredder that's only, placed one side?
Correct, only one side.
Are there any plans for the future for a military side?
That's what that was for.
Is that what that was?
That's what we're trying to get. Yes. Where is the drone and UTV?
Collections paper, LEC.
So Sheriff Jackson. On the drone, you currently use, when you get to use one at all, it's currently the one that I want to shoot. And that's not a catch and catch can kind of thing.
Right, it's a hit, yes, we do have.
And on the Polaris, a lot of departments seem to have those. It's cheaper to run than a vehicle. It gives those places a vehicle doesn't go. And again, the word eclipse comes up.
Or Eclipse, Live Spectacular, Rodeo, also fire, search and rescue. I think it can be utilized countywide, not by just the sheriff's office, or just the fire departments, whatever.
You're anticipating, because this is expensive.
It is.
You're anticipating it's good enough to use in.
Absolutely.
Out of a command bus for fire.
Absolutely. No. As of right now, we have a licensed drone pilot that works for me at the jail, so he's actually on the drone team there at San Marcos. So as far as the general orders, policies, whatever he is on top of it, and he can train it up, and you do that too. Low end equipment. It's a good drone. It's been very successful in the county. Used one 2 months ago, for sure. Sick suspect, know where he was at. Second would be.
Now, Kathy made the commissioners, made all of us, spend our Kinder Morgan money. So why can't we spend your Kinder Morgan money for some of this?
Okay, because I budgeted, or I'm budgeting for a security fence around the back parking lot, locking gates, because apparently we're taking too much meters and magnets. Room for secure park for not only our vehicles, but for evidence, stored evidence. And we'd be able to put, that's what I'm going to put another building,
I didn't see that either.
The request, because it was on, it's getting more, I don't know if I had to do that on
It's a special fund, and everything is budgeted in the special funds.
well, I wasn't aware of that fund. I would just budget where I get core.
And you're thinking you're gonna use all your money for that?
$47,000.
And then 3 vehicles and equipment.
Yes.
You're not sure if we're thinking about replacing, I don't have the sheet from me for how many miles,
I didn't bring the sheet with me.
how old the replaced vehicles would be.
Like I said, they're so bad, the ones we're replacing,
They're not operable.
So you guys use it for home? Y'all use it?
Yes, 4 vehicles.
same thing won't be out all the time.
Okay.
With COVID and all the stuff that occurred, there's been a new dynamic in these vehicles. It takes more than a year for ordering a vehicle just to get big. In the process where we have to get a promissory note in August, just for us to get the vehicle after the entire next budget, so we're gonna have to pull monies over. So we're gonna ask for a vehicle in August for the 2023, 2024 budget, but we're not gonna get possession of the vehicle until the 24, 25 budget. It'll take that long to get vehicles.
Where do you see it?
Yeah, I'll see.
You've got one pickup.
Let's proceed on, let's church.
Oh, sorry.
So the 3 vehicles that you're thinking about purchasing, are just, they're all patrol vehicles?
They will all be patrol vehicles except for 1 big and vehicles. So that clear.
It's for, on our first page of her budget. 2 scores, 1 pickup, 1 dog.
Yeah, we just gotta explain it in time, it's 4 vehicles, right?
But the dollar amount's correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it actually raises the question of.
I hope so.
I thought we were working on a 3 vehicles per year ordeal. What happened with that?
Well,
Not working
it's
out.
taken over a year to get vehicles. We're already past that. We're already, those that need a replacement are all inoperable by the time we replace them. 3 years ago, or it's been 5 years ago since we've got to do that. We've grown since then. We've got 7 more employees, and our mileage can't keep up with it as long as it's taken to get a vehicle.
Well, I guess when you're adding another position.
Yes.
What's the command vehicle in this contract?
Well, it's a whole lot like Ben's.
But Ben's is his everyday vehicle.
It would be for the, either, the chief deputy or patrol lieutenant. But what it's gonna have is all the equipment in it, say the drone, any of that. But it'd be a regular patrol vehicle also. Or it would be a regular officer. Just would have a little bit of extra stuff.
Other questions?
I don't know if now's the time to bring this up, but on the capital equipment that's not gonna be financed, for instance, a computer for veteran services, For our record keeping, it would make me so much easier if that would just be put in her budget as a line item, instead of putting it all over in capital equipment, just the stuff that's not financed.
Well, great minds think alike, as that was suggested, and I said now, about it, now there's 2 to 1, so.
We had to talk about that.
Yeah, we have not. Yeah, we'll move along now.
So, question, the Pro QA server, is that for the CAD system?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was for the upgrades that were needed to happen and everything. Okay.
So this is the server.
That's a server question, that's not. I like that price.
Anyone else, other thoughts? Hang on, because they may have more about your stuff, but back to the precinct 3 things. I don't think we can finance those not that way. I think we just have to pay for those. Because,
so,
rainwater collection, fueling station, and rainwater collection and fueling station.
okay. So fueling station, that number is for pretty much the Eclipse. That's gonna give us 1,000 gallons of diesel and 1,000 gallons of gasoline. Is that people we're gonna locate it at either precinct 2 or the sheriff's office?
I don't have any fence, I don't know.
Can we skip kids?
Then we can finance it. It's not fixed.
Yeah.
But what about the rainwater collection?
So rainwater collection will be the rainwater that I purchased previously, it's cracked and it's not holding water, so we'll replace that. To have, water storage for road construction and or firefighting. Precinct 3 door.
This is a big tank.
Yes, sir.
I'm afraid that's like a fixture. We may have to take that one out and just put it in yellow.
And that's fine.
We could probably put it in precinct 3 based on her wishes. All right, we'll figure that out. What else? Let's see.
So, question, we had one more, concrete floor for the commando shed. So that's permanent. That won't be allowed to be financed.
Why in there?
On the cameras, north annex and south annex, there's only a dollar amount of one.
No, I don't think we've got any. We don't have 4, so I guess Ms. Steves or Russell or Commissioner Weir or somebody can explain this.
We need to have one end of our room there, that's.
We need to add one on the building of the stop annex.
Correct.
New part of the building?
New part of the building.
Where?
Covers the parking lot. When they close.
An outside camera that looks at the parking lot.
Correct. When they close the porch into that camera. It was monitoring the porch. That's not there. So, we want to go to that cable on the license plate right there. It shuts all the way back out to the road.
She says that camera still exists.
Well, yeah, it's being used for monitoring. Porch. Closed area. You see through the glass, right?
If you want one.
I'd like to see that. Show the parking lot.
Is that one?
Is
that one of these?
No, that, I know, it was one, I was just very early on talking about this, because, but I did question,
So this says two more cameras.
Yeah. Go.
Maybe the speeds can help us.
I requested an additional camera in each location, so it would capture the full counter instead of just one direction. Because right now, each camera in each location only captures one direction. If there's a blind spot, it's not going to capture. Especially in Lincoln, now there's a hallway that doesn't have a camera, so trying to capture people standing in that hallway that we might need to see should something rise.
I actually heard everything you said, but I'm not sure everybody did. And probably like these open records that we would like to have, please. And when you say a second camera, so you get a, I think, full counter view. So if one camera is looking at the counter, but can't see the whole counter.
So take for instance here, the one camera we have is looking at the door, but if somebody is standing under that camera, there's nothing being done here. So if there is an altercation going on, it's not captured by cameras. And as of right now, this camera over here is dead, so we replace tomorrow. Okay. So just like the one in Lincoln, it is sitting right above the Dutch door. So people are coming in that hallway right at the Dutch door and nothing's being captured there. We've had a few altercations there, but we haven't proved it that something's happening right in that doorway. Because the camera's only going in one direction. Now it's going for another camera in each location to capture that.
And this is news to me, is there not a camera near the door that goes to the outside to the property? In Lincoln.
On the porch.
No, not on the porch. You're outside. Farthest door to the.
Right when you walk in the door from the parking lot, say you go in the house, not through the.
No, the only camera I like is above the Dutch door.
Not only you walk in from the parking lot, right there next to it, showing the bridge.
You can see the door, but there's no camera there.
Okay, and that camera would look at.
We pull the wire.
And that camera would look at the counter. If you put the book.
Right. They would also capture the cameras, but they would also, the counter, they would capture the doors. Because right now, the one camera we have is capturing the front door, not the door.
So you only get one camera in your.
So what's that gonna cost?
Okay, wire. Well, I don't know where you want, I've got a wire run. You walk in from the outside, parking through the door, show lap. You gotta come through the hallway. But if you were to do that, there's supposed to be one straight above, on the counter. And then there was supposed to be Dutch doors. The other, and crisscross, so you can see all the way. And I believe we pulled wire for it, on that camera.
So do you know what it costs to buy and install?
Cameras probably would be about $800.
Each.
Each. Yes. And then, we'll have to get, if the wires are not, which I don't think they are where you're talking. If you're gonna run wires across, that will have to be a third party vendor. So probably $400 or $500. You have to add to the wire. So I'm gonna say probably about, just on the high side, $1,500 each. Probably not.
So $3,000 roughly, put your cameras in your two offices.
An external camera for the gate.
So you have the door at the end of the hallway, used to be the front porch, and enters into the tax office. That opposite door that used to be an exterior door in the courtroom, we're now using that to bring individuals in. That's where we put a metal detector, where we have someone watching that.
Well, you can see it right now.
Yeah, there's a camera.
The camera at the far end, they should see the.
I see the door right there.
Yeah, looking straight at it.
So just for the sake of security, individuals coming in the front door or waiting room, and then the metal detector shooting point into the courtroom, and then the view of that door as you come into the courtroom, if that makes sense. Because you get a full transition to the courtroom.
It could be a little better, but it's. There are cameras working both ways.
There's a camera in the courtroom itself, right?
So if you had that door open and
You see their faces are watching.
Perfect, that, with the discussion happening, I want to make sure that new angle is covered.
I'll show you all this.
Thank you.
You're under.
Okay, what else? Is
I do have one quick question for the sheriff's office. On the 3 chairs at LAC,
Yes, sir.
the right number?
Yes, there is. They're 24-hour chairs. They're built just for this message.
I was just
Yeah, that is correct.
chairs. But the ones you have in there are terrible, I'm gonna say.
You go sit up.
I've been there, I sat in there Friday, so yes.
Well, you got one of them already rolled out around that side.
how many are we asking for?
3.
What else? You don't have anything else on capital, but it's just to the county inspector page 39. I think we're working on it. Veteran services, very little increase from this current year. I am proposing on the allowance, but it's not really proposing, it's just really upstairs. You'll see American Legion membership, that goes off there. $100, $150, and goes to money wills. She's doing a great job. Thoughts? Concerns?
We've got all of them.
Yeah.
I'll take it down. Sorry. Just take it down.
I guess it's on. It's where you're at. Russell, you want to say anything?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Do you want to say anything? I'll show a benefit for Eric. What's that?
So,
That's the cell phone that monitors office, so 600.
I can answer that one currently. This year's budget, the maintenance was still under the LEC, so they had it budgeted for the cell phone for this fiscal year. So we're just taking it out of LEC's pot, putting it into the maintenance to be responsible for the maintenance. It's really nothing big, we're just moving it from LEC over to the maintenance department.
The next line down, the law maintenance, it says moving it from basically my department. We have a dollar in there.
I didn't quite understand what that was for.
That was from Wiki. We had
Yeah.
his lawn maintenance come over to my department. And Kathy, I forget what the amount was on that. I think it was only like 1,500.
I think so. It's, well, for right next to the lawnmowers and.
Oh, that was the salary. That was really salary.
I thought it was more like 15,000. 12, 15,000 is what we
I
pay.
think the 1,500 one was left.
But we don't, they're not gonna need that much.
So,
From the non-departmental, which is where we pay our,
is this like the sheriff's thing, it says maintenance, but it's actually materials?
It's a little bit of both, yes. It's countywide, so the LEC has a lawnmower. They have a weed eater that somebody uses there. We have other equipment that we use in the rest of the county. But, keep in mind that this is a brand new department for this county, and this is kind of a stab in the dark sometimes, but the figures that we come up with, we only had a couple of months to take these figures and then figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the year. So kind of took what we've done so far and then just figured out what we do for the rest of the year and came up with some reasonable amounts that we hope will work.
And then, Commissioner can have questions about the other items, but the biggest item involved is the new employee.
Yes, we're hoping to get a new employee for the next fiscal year. We've got myself and Aaron right now, and we take on 4 or 5 new campuses once we get the old jail completed, the fairgrounds, the heliport, and then also the Blanco County Veterans Memorial Maintenance Department and that also. We're spread pretty thin right now, but we suspect that we probably will need one more employee.
Are you guys like me, recess or?
Just taking it in, Judge, just taking it in.
That's it.
Any questions about this? I understand, we're looking at tools, I understand you're feeling, you're getting tools, you're using, whatever.
Correct.
For the accounts. So, we understand that.
Right now, you can go to a project or something has to, wall has to be worked on, whatever. You're looking at the tools at $7,500, what, do you have tools right now y'all use?
We have very limited tools at this time because, like I said, it's brand new departments. Yeah, there you go. I was hoping all of y'all had the same thing. There's a list of some of the tools that we are going to require this next year. And that's part of where I come up with the $7,500.
But I'm saying, like, you go do any kind of, like, construction work somewhere, you gotta have a drill, saw.
Yeah, we don't have to that right now. We're using our own. And so we're requiring what we can when we can. But at this point, I don't have the money to get new tools.
What do you mean you're using your own?
I'm using my own tools from home.
You go home and get your daily saw. Go home and get your.
I don't go home and get another 30 miles a year. I do bring what I need. That's what I need.
Right.
I'm saying here that for a $300 two drill set, you need to have sawzall, you're gonna have to have a skill saw, you're gonna have to have a.
Yeah, there's different models and different brands, and
and, different choices. That was just one of the choices I put in there. So I'm saying, but the amount of tools. Yeah, you're correct. Probably more than what's shown there it is.
In other words, I'm saying that $7,500, you have to pretty quick.
Yes, sir. It would. But I think with that $7,500, that would be where I need to be. Okay.
You know,
So, if you get a new person, are you planning on dividing and conquering more, or?
Absolutely. We've got another vehicle now, so, once we get it on the road, well, that would be, one more vehicle that we could split up and divide and conquer.
You're still doing septic inspections too.
It takes up about 40% of my time.
But you don't take Aaron when you do that, right?
I do not take Aaron when we want to do septic inspections. He does maintenance, all I do inspections.
Well, you're looking at an 80 to 90% increase from last year's budget. And last year was an absolute gift as we stood up a big department.
Right.
Without 1, 2, 3 additional facilities and 4th division. So when you put it in that context, there's some logic to it.
Yes. Plus the coverage for South Annex, there's a lot of travel.
Absolutely. I put 20,000 miles on our truck this year already. So that's, it tells you how much we travel. How much we do.
The great truck.
Yes, sir. The Dodge.
That was originally the county investigators.
That's correct.
They're going to do something else on the streets.
Yes.
You have a separate truck for your septic inspection.
That's correct, yes. Yeah, when I have to go out and do septic inspections, I leave the Dodge there, and I usually take it from the truck. But once we get the Ford on the road, I'll be using Ford for good septic inspections. We got all of our tools and all of our, everything that we need in the Dodge, so that's what I'm here for maintenance.
But once you get the Ford, I'll inspect it.
We got it inspected, but, and we got it running. And then, there's another problem with it now. It's something to do with the computer. So I'm gonna get it checked out.
What else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you look on the summary page, which is on page 42, I don't have it on this one, I did have it. It's interesting to note that a significant number of the departments actually went down a percent or two. And then, of course, a significant number of departments went up more than a percent or two. Road and bridge, the 4 precincts are here, and the 4 maps that you asked for. And the discussions that I've had with you all individually, I think are consistent. That nobody has the exact same miles as the other commissioner. Everybody's is different. Everybody's situations are different. And so it's, I think years ago I thought, well, I'll just try to figure So, this is what you all have asked for. I had to make any modifications to it. By the time you get to page 47, those are the bottom lines that you're asking for.
So Judge, on the road projects that we have here, I think in precinct 1, you have Trainer East and Oakendale Road. What's the project?
Finishing up the Trainer East project. $100,000 out of that will be for paving a little over 2 miles of Oakendale Road. To take the up to Trainer East from the city of Blanco, from the state park. So I've got that. I got figures from a local paper per square yard, calculated it so that I can get a budget for that, and I'll go out and get it for the paper.
And the Trainer East part?
The Trainer East is $30,000 worth of it. I still have some fencing, some guardrail, I've got some trees.
Is there any more concrete?
Ebert Drive.
Mr. Ebert, you got crossings that left, go ahead and Rocky.
Yes, I want to flag for 2 cars. Tax. It's not going to be a major project. We'll just have the east side of it tied into the whole concrete.
Which one?
The first on flat, first one.
We'll give it a flag.
Rocky. Oh, Rocky. That will be the one that's just past where Jewel Lane is. It's that bad curve, and that name, when we get these other 2 done, may not have enough money budgeted for that. I'm gonna try to get this done as economically as possible.
So road projects for precinct 3, is going to be 3 low water crossings again, and all 3 of them are going to have culverts beyond Smith West and Tyler North. And then we'll do them on Old West.
Sorry, Mark, now. The road that on mine is Fall Creek Road. It is unpaved, and it has the 3 crossing areas is managed garbage. It's bad, it has to be replaced. So, I bid on that, replacing that 3 crossing, completely taking that all the way out to and also doing some chip seal work on Cox Road where it's starting pretty well with the amount of traffic that's going to cross from 65 to 32.
Someone called Rick, you're going to go ahead and pay the remainder of the road?
Yes. That will be the last.
What sort of work are you doing on the contract?
Just doing some chip seal. I got a price the other day, kind of came in on, there's a little strip on my county road, that's 500 foot long, but it's pretty bad, so. Filling it up, going in with new base, packing, and everything.
You know, I didn't mean to get that much in the weeds with you. What I'm really asking, what I was really trying to ask is, are you thinking about this current need and this presentation that was made about this grant development plan and the expectations we would have for somebody else to do a lot of Cox Road in order to get approval.
It's not true with that, I'm not lighting the road, I'm just going in and taking care of a problem before it becomes a real expensive problem. And that's why I was going with the other little story, was because I found out that in order to mill up and fix 500 feet, and that was me supplying the top and base was $20,000, 100 feet. That's not very far for quite a bit of money you can run out of real quick.
All right, we will see. Already rich. Next page, which is 48, is the IMS page. So, that last line, we have gap 2-year term. And one would be that was currently under consideration for purchase and financing. The 2017 tax note should be the last, yes, it's 7/7, so it'll be the last year of that. What's your sort of that? So I think what I want to comment to you is the second line, which is revenue. Again, it's based on what I said when we started this. April preliminary evaluations, homestead exemption increases to 20%. And basically it's static tax rates. So that's not a good number yet. It's a placeholder. Grand totals on page 48. And then you go into the special funds. There are particular special funds. Kathy, Shelley, we need to discuss. Any detail? I guess Laura and Celia have special funds. Is there anything you want to say?
So will there be a new special fund with the hot taxes?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, just to recap, so the legislature approved Lincoln County to have a hot tax. The hotel occupancy tax is the only tax that I know of that is actually created by a commissioner's court. Commissioner's court in the county creates the tax. So what the legislature did was authorize us to do that, if we so choose to do that. In order to do that, well, I'm not even sure it's actually necessary that we want to have a public hearing. I kind of committed to that, to the legislature with the hearing of legislation. So we would have a public hearing on a proposal for hotel tax. We ultimately decided we want to post it, and then the effective date there. In the meantime, Ms. Swift has been visiting with neighboring counties and others about how you go about collecting it, processing it, and I don't want to say this, but it seems like treasurers have a lot to do with the administer it. Or they get somebody to administer it. And interestingly, we found out that it can pay for its own administration, I guess. In a sense. Is that fair to say, that it can pay for administration? So that's where we're on. So it's something we'll want to, assuming we're going to want to take it up, it's something we'll want to take up in the next few months.
Once we decide to do this, I guess we start paying.
Yes.
Once we do that, we have to go back to the state, get blessed.
And as far as the rate, I committed to legislators that our plan, if we were going to do one, was to make it even across the county. So that it would apply to, it would not apply inside the municipalities. And it would do the same as the municipalities, which are both the same. Okay, what else? Other special funds and thoughts? So, still on the drone and the UTV. So I'm guessing that, sure, that we need to work on this special fund that you have with your board money, so that we budget for your plan for construction.
Yes, we received bids and stuff like that.
Is this the project that you're talking about, will it happen this year before October 1?
It could start, hoping.
Well, that would come for the commissioner for approval, because there's nothing budgeted. No expenditures in the budget in the special fund today.
So,
all right. Oh, I guess we're not done. We're ready to talk about the salary survey, unless there's something that you want to change and talk about. So, this has been kind enough to, and by the way, Trevor has did a great job of managing that whole project with our vendor to get us the salary survey. It's been kind enough to put together some costs on this. By the way, since you're back, I know you have to leave for the, I mentioned in my department, I mentioned the idea of 4% COLA and 6% COLA for retirees. I also represented that we're not aware of ever doing a COLA for retirees.
In
1996.
That's the last time a COLA was done for retirees in 1996.
And I mentioned to them that some counties don't do a COLA, they take on the health insurance. Some counties do a COLA every year, some counties do a COLA
Every other year, every 5 years.
So we will need to have a number that's in there. If they decide to.
Right.
And so I was thinking of 4% on that, and Lucas, I'm thinking 4% on these pages. And what you have before you is the results of the study applied. So the attempt is to bring everybody to the minimum, but we don't get there in 1 year under this plan. is we cap everybody's increase to $60,000. So in other words, if your salary study said you made $10,000 and you should be making $20,000, this proposal would give you $16,000. Whatever that percentage is. That's how far we can take you in 1 year. Everybody else that's calculating is calculated at 4% plus the longevity. And there's a page that's not figured in at all. It's the official page where the salary study made some recommendations or some observations that haven't been figured yet. That's open for discussion.
Just as a reminder, Judge, that the elected officials will not be included in the salary study report. They have provided the data for me to provide to you, but they won't be part of the salary study officially. We get it won't include, it won't include a recommendation from them.
When you say we will get a final report, is that just going to be the polished pre?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not going to be different than we already discussed this. And but they won't be in that report, correct? But they are on this page.
Yes, they have provided data.
This shows minimums and maximums. And current. So I'm hoping to hear discussion. I'll start with this. No, I was thinking 5% earlier. I think 4% seems to be pretty standard in our community. I think the sheriff's asking for 15% for his department, and it wouldn't shock me to learn that road departments take 15% is needed as well. And bottom line on there's a list and so it's proposal is a little more than 200, it's more than 226,000. What was the number?
The 226 was the proposing. We come out to about 266,122 with the deductions and things that we have to take for those to come.
So, possible expenses to be thinking about are the movement based on the salary study, movement for cost of living adjustment for retirees, and then there's a third thing to think about, and that is if we want to increase the county contribution to the employee retirement system. We are currently one of the lowest that we know.
Yes, we are the lowest within the surrounding counties.
We're at $1.50 to their dollar, and we've seen it as high as $2.47.
230, well, Gillespie County's at 235. We're at 150. Barnett, Conedale are at 200. Kendall's at 175. Atlanta's at 160. Travis is at 225.
And if we were to take a bite this year, we're going to say 175. You think that would cost us?
Well, you're gonna have to set your salaries first in order to figure the percentage. So I really, until the salaries are set, you really can't do it. The good thing is, this does not take effect until January. So it's just gonna be 9 months, and not a full year. That'll help a little.
You don't have a clue, like if we use current numbers?
I can give you, what'd you say, 75?
I did.
Okay, right now, our current rate is, our term plan rate is 7.83%. And our term life is 0.49%, which is a total of 8.32. We go to 175, it goes to 9.62.
So
So it's
go ahead.
about 130 increase.
Under 30,000 increase.
No, 1.3%, 1.30%
Of salary,
of salary increase, yes.
which is in the neighborhood of, the south is less than 5 million. Right now, it's a salary. It's 470,000. Oh,
A lot, yes.
well, the kind of soil is like, close to 5 million. 1%, 5 million.
But once y'all set the salaries, then we can give you a better idea.
It sounded like of the three, of the COLA for the retirees, and the salary study, and that's going to be the cheapest deals to do.
So, Judge, while I was at the conference, I talked to the retirement folks there, and I asked them what the average was for counties, and they did say that their average is at 200. Coming back from my conference, I stopped and talked to ESD 2, and they said that they are at 200%, and the commissioners of the ESD 2, they said, well, just brought everybody up to that number. With that being said, they were doing interviews, and I asked them how many people were applying. They said they're actually getting more and more applicants for their positions, actually stealing people from Austin. Impressive.
Okay. So, what do you?
So with that being said, I would want to go for the 2 million.
Okay.
That's kind of the norm, right? That's what it sounds like.
So that's one, 2 call.
I've got that figure. I mean, I figured it a bunch of different ways. I have that figure also. To go to 200%, we're at 8.32 now, we go to 10.93%. It's what?
Almost 3% of the salary. Like $130,000. Knowing your sentiments on the increase to retirement contribution, let's back up and talk about the salary study. Your thoughts?
So the thought that I have for the salary study, the only thought I have for the salary study, I'd like a little time to digest it. I'd like to digest it, a little more. Seeing it for the first time right now, so it's a lot to take in.
Chris, would it be helpful if I kind of explain what you have?
You can.
Just so that your little map you can understand what you have. The first page of the packet is marked by title, basically job title.
So you have a minimum, midpoint, and maximum, and this is from the survey, basically by job title, without being assigned to any particular person or individual. So this, I think, is gonna be useful as we have new positions for new people to be able to figure out where they need to be, on that. So the second page, Judge Ray already said, is the elected officials that I combed out of the data, to be able to present just elected officials. Yes? You lived on the county clerk. Oh, I did? I'm sorry. I'll go back and put you in. Okay. Maybe I just didn't print. I didn't have to print very good enough, but I'll go back and put you in. The third page is by grade. So it's kind of similar to the job titles, in that they have assigned every person to a grade. So again, you have a minimum, midpoint, maximum. The nice thing about this one is for part-time people, you also have an hourly rate, market value as well, minimum, midpoint, maximum for each grade. And when you look at the next page, you have the individual people and you can see their recommended grades. So if you want to go back and forth between those pages, you can see how the grades relate to the different departments. The next pages are by.
What is view and change technical?
That means ungraded, those are elected officials that were left out of the study, so they don't grade those, and that's why they're listed as ungraded on here. So I took out the midpoint just to try to get it all on a couple of pages, so you don't have to flip through a bunch of pages to try to see people. So I have a minimum and a maximum, and then a break to minimum, which is what they would be plus, a COLA, cost of living. So you have all of those people, 3 pages of people. And then if you go to the next page, I should be you have the cost of what that is. So the cost of the COLA. So this applies a 4% increase to every individual who wasn't already at a Brington minimum point. So if we had a staff who was way below minimum, their percentage is obviously higher than 4%. And then we capped it at the $6,000, as Judge Ray said, to try to, kind of give us some time to absorb this. Put in some performance evaluation processes and policies, some job descriptions, those kind of things, so that hopefully in the next budget cycle, we can refine the data that we have assigned to people. We also added longevity to this based on our current longevity calculations. So the next column would be total with COLA and longevity and the cost of that. And that's where we got to the 226. And again, it's capped at $6,000. So if somebody's Brington minimum, cost of living, plus longevity was more than $6,000, we had capped everyone.
Would you say that that issue inserted in their performance evaluations and such is not a option, is not a negotiable, that needs to be part of this program?
Yeah, it needs to be, or else this doesn't provide any value. If we're not gonna respect the midpoints and the maximums. And the only way to respect that throughout the whole county is to have some set way that we evaluate our staff. And do performance evaluations, and that way there's some justification for bringing these people up that are, going above and beyond, let's get them up into the, between the midpoint and the maximum would be nice. But until we have those structures in place, there's no basis for allocating it. Other than longevity, which we already used.
You kind of brings Meredith back into the discussion.
of living adjustment isn't about merit. It's for crappy employees and great employees. Everybody has the same experience at the grocery store. If you have a really crappy employee, the whole idea is if you have performance mechanisms, you can address that.
And and you can't imagine the data. There's just pages and pages and pages of data, and it's sorted all different ways, and so this is the way we decided to come through the data and kind of combine it in a way that you guys can digest it. If there's a different way you want to see it, if you have questions about specific other things, I can go mine some more data. And
if we didn't use 6,000 as a cap this year, and didn't use any cap, do you know what the most expensive increase to get to minimums would be? Was it
5%?
Yeah.
I think it's about $18,000.
So there's somebody that's $18,000 below minimum in the salary study, and we're proposing not getting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But going on a path. And I can't remember if we provide everyone a minimum, what the number would be, but it was significantly more than 226.
Yes, I don't remember. I want to say it was around 500,000, but I don't remember the exact number.
I remember it being well before.
And I think the four that you and I was before, like the official budget.
How do you counsel the commissioners to talk about the elected official studies?
You have the market data. And you can either choose to use that and have elected officials pay differently based on the function that they perform for the county. Or you can use it to come up with a guide as to where generally everyone should be. But you have the data now, so there's no reason to not use it.
So generally speaking, if county officials making 60,000 a year, 4% increase is going to be $2,400.
About 63, something, I think is where they ended up. 63.5.
If the county official minimum is way up there, past 63,000.
Commissioners are at 78.
Commissioners are 78 minimum. What do you think personally and professionally? Personally and professionally, about the idea of doing the same thing with elected officials as we're doing with everybody else on the page and capping
I think
at 6.
I think if you're going to do something, it needs to be uniform. And if you're going to do 6 for the staff, you need to do 6 for yourselves and other elected officials.
Okay, that's like a professional opinion. Now, as your taxpayer opinion, do you even want elected officials to get moved up at all, or do you just want them to get a COLA?
I think they should be paid for the job that they perform for the county.
Or at least get
Or at
closer?
least closer to the job that they perform. You will see most of them are underpaid.
Give me what I wanted to know, which is that you think the $6,000 cap is a reasonable approach.
and getting us part of the way there and adding the numbers is a reasonable approach.
I see that we put an ad in for Road and Bridge. It'll run for a month, 2 months. Zero. I don't know if that's a post-COVID thing or it's got to do with our salaries. Might be.
Well, I don't know, and my other duties as performed outside of the county, I never completed. So, we have doctors and nurses who I feel like I have to pay well.
Yeah.
And I can't find
So,
Part of it's not very long.
well, sure.
Some of that. So that also standing on my earlier comments. No,
I also, I think I said it before, but I mean, I'll say it again, in some of these positions, I don't think we're as terrible as we thought we were. So, and to me, that's,
Well, when you only have roughly 3 out of 7 that was not within minimums. I think that's how it worked out. It's 30 something people out of 70 or 80 employees. That require something to limit the minimums. You're saying that. I was saying.
do you have any questions about what you have?
Yeah. So with your comments about the sheriff's department, you're still standing on it, he's asking for 15%.
Excellent.
Did you say excellent?
The jail. Yes. The jailers or the jail at the sheriff's office are, all of them were what I would say significantly below minimum. The rest of the department really wasn't that deputies and.
So what we don't know, I don't think, I haven't done the analysis, is his 15% for a jailer versus whatever is applied here?
I just got that this morning, so I haven't heard this.
So, we're not getting into the budget workshops or anything else you Is there any special fund that,
I would like to know why we don't to create a constitutional special funds. Whether it was shared or created for potential grants. What was that?
Hospital floor special fund for grants? And a hotel tax special fund just in case.
We need to have some.
Judge, let me ask you about the hotel tax. Once that's gets going, how do you earmark or how do you determine where you allocate the funds, where to go? Is that something that happens here or is
Yes,
it?
it happens here within parameters because hotel tax funds are, I'm going to just use broad terms, but generally it's supposed to be used to foster tourism.
So do people come to the court to ask for the percentage of those funds or is this something that we direct us or direct us?
Both are possible. It could be like you do with community services, and people could ask you for funds. It could be that you don't want to be bothered with them, and you just send them out to the cities or the chambers of commerce. It could be, which they still would have to spend it in promotion of tourism.
Sure, sure.
It could be that you use it to service some debt on an exhibit hall, which qualifies as a tourism thing. It could be that you fund light in the courthouse, because that qualifies.
Does it include nonprofit organizations?
If they're for
Tourism.
yes.
Okay.
You're welcome to read on.
Thank you much, we
Motion made seconded to adjourn the discussion. Nothing further. Mr. Weir, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed.
Bill 21. Just gonna ask you. 350,000, right?
That's a long time in that queue, you know, that's an uncomfortable